I make music for Mark Rober's company, CrunchLabs. And today I'm breaking down my newest track from the upcoming Volume 1 album. Okay, so whenever I start any type of track, I always try to figure out the type of sound that I want to use. So on Mark's main channel, I usually lean towards real type of instrument sounds. I'll use mainly cellos, violas, bass. This is the heart of the Mark Rober sound right here. Sound selection is probably the most important part of any song. And so for this track, I was lucky enough because I just randomly chose this default, absolutely terrible sounding plugin called Plucked, and I'm pretty sure it only has one sound. So and then from here I start to shape the melody. So with this type of sound, I ended up with a very simple pluck. For this track in particular, I also used this sound, which is again the same melody, but a kind of layering sounds to give it a wider sound. Okay. And so with those two sounds together, we have this. And that is the intro. And then usually for my intros, I always just stack melodies and try to figure out what other aspect I need to add. For the bass, I took these notes and laid them down right here. So it's the same sound, but way lower. And so again, with this, I layered it so I have an octave up and an octave down to kind of give the bass a bigger feel. And so together we have this sound. You can kind of start to feel the CrunchLabs mayhem going on with this music. And again, when I use the laptop keyboard, the melodies are a lot simpler, but they end up being catchier. After this, I usually end up creating a second melody to give the song a more dynamic feel, so that way it's not so repetitive. And then so we ended up with this. You can kind of see the notes are still the same. It's just that now we added some more rhythm. And so I have my main melody, and I have my bass melody, and then I have my bass 2 melody. And now all I need is a main melody number 2, which sounds like this. Okay. You can see it's more calm. It's just one note at a time. If you pair that with the second bass, you get this. You can see they both sound really well together. This is now starting to sound like a complete CrunchLabs song. And so at this point, we move on to the drums, which for me, they are probably one of the easiest parts for me, because you just add, for me, I just add whatever I want, and then I slowly remove instruments if they sound too much. Okay, so what I usually add is the kicks first, and that sounds like this. And then we slowly start to pick it up and add more instruments. So like I'll add a clap. And then from here, I'll usually just add, hi-hats or something. And so this is just a pretty basic hi-hat pattern. And now you can definitely hear this something you would obviously hear in a CrunchLabs video. And so now at this point, the song is pretty much done. What I like to do is experiment. I like to experiment and just see what other sounds might complement what I already have. I added a kind of like a sub bass, which has a lower frequency, and it kind of gives the whole song a complete full feel. And when you add all that together, you get this. And so pretty much the hard part is done, and now what I usually do after this is I figure out how to arrange the song to make the whole thing sound dynamic and not too repetitive. And then kind of play around with the drums a little bit so you have something like this. So that way it's different from the first part, and it gives the song way more dynamic, so it doesn't repeat so much, right? And then from there you just keep going, and so we have this. Yep, and there you have it, folks. And here's the thing, I never really know what tracks will ever get used by Mark and his team. They post once a month, so sometimes I don't hear my song until 4 or 5 months down the road, or sometimes I never hear them. But that's part of the job. I just keep creating and trust the process and hope that I can continue to make songs that Mark and his team love, and you guys as well. And so last but not least, I always throw my sounds into the mixer, which essentially is what helps make the song sound balanced. And so I won't bore you with all the mixing details. So whether this ends up in the CrunchLabs videos or not, I'm actually really excited how this beat turned out. That's why it's track 1. And again, if you want to hear the full CrunchLabs Volume 1 album, stay tuned for that, because I don't have a release date yet or an album cover. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. I am very grateful. And I'll see you guys in the next one.